So guys, this is part 2 in my series on my build on my HO scale display case. So in this video I'm going to show you how I made the base and laying the cork on the base. Then on part 3 I'll show you laying the track on the cork itself. But anyway, this is what it looks like when it's finished. So let's get started. So before we get started, I want to show you all the supplies I'm going to be using in this part of the project. A 36-inch ruler, actually it's more than that, pair of scissors, X-Acto blade, I'm using a pencil, a straight edge, and a piece of printer paper. And the cardboard I got from Hobby Lobby. It's a pretty thick cardboard, white on one side, black on the other. So the first thing I want to do is measure out 3.5 inches. So that's the depth of each of my shelves for my cabinet. So I'm going to go all the way down here, measure out 3.5 inches. Hardest part of this build right now is just cutting the cardboard. And I'll just show you what I mean in a second here. So what I'm doing is laying my measuring stick all the way down my line, 36 inches. Draw my straight line. And what I'm going to do is take my X-Acto knife and just go down that line very slowly and carefully. So this is the hard part, because you don't want to slip or move that straight edge where your blade is going to go off track. So just take your time when it does that. Put a lot of pressure on that measuring ruler, and you'll get a nice straight cut. And as you see, it's going to take me quite a few cuts to do it, because I'm taking my time, putting some pressure, but not a lot of pressure, because I want the blade to do all the work for me. Because in my past experience, trying to go too fast and applying too much pressure sometimes throws you off, and that's when you make errors. So at this point I got a nice groove inside the cardboard, so I'm just freehanding it right now, just going down that line, and it's going to take me a couple more passes here. Yeah, like I said earlier, guys, I can't stress this enough. Just take your time at this stage of the project. And every once in a while, you're going to have to clean off your blade a little bit. Make sure you don't have any debris on it. Another thing you're going to need for this project that I didn't show you at the front is just Elmer's glue. So this whole project, even laying the cork and applying the track to the cork, I used Elmer's glue, and it does a great job on adhering the track to the cork board and the cork to the base and everything else. And I'll show you that really shortly here, guys. So I got my piece cut out there. Just taking off a little debris at this point. So here I'm measuring out exactly 46 5/8. So I'm putting together my shorter piece I made earlier, And I want to get exact measurements on where I need to make that cut at. So it's critical that you get this measurement correct, or it's not going to fit in your cabinet too well, and you might have to do a recut. So I'm doing my mark there. Then what I'm going to do is take my straight edge and I'm just going to do a line right down that where my mark is. And I'm going to take my X-Acto blade and just do the same cut that I did down the long side of the big board. Just take your time, let the blade do the work for you. There's no rush here. The cutting is the most critical part of this whole project. So at this point I got a pretty deep cut, so I don't need the straight edge anymore. Almost there, guys. Okay, very good. So the object is to get these two pieces together. So what I want to do is take my printer paper. So the width of my piece of cardboard is 3.5 inches. So I want to make it slightly smaller than 3.5 inches. So what I'm doing is just making a straight line so I know how to make sure when I cut the paper it's nice and straight. Okay, so what I want to do is trim this piece of paper because I don't need the whole thing. Okay, so what I want to get is my Elmer's glue. And what I'm going to do is start putting some of this Elmer glue onto both sides of the cardboard. And I'll put a pretty generous amount. And what I want to do is put some glue on the other side here. And after I do that, I want to take my finger and just spread out that glue really evenly. So I want to get the edges really good, especially where I'm going to be putting the two pieces together. So I want to start with the one side here and slowly put the other one underneath. And what I want to do is make sure the two pieces of cardboard are lined up as tight as possible with each other. And then I'll start to spread out the paper and the glue together to get a nice tight fit. So I spread out the glue on one side, now I'm going to the other side, working some of that glue out. And so what I want to do is put a a can or a jar of pickles or peaches or something like that, and I'll put it over that seam overnight and let it dry. So in part 3 video, I want to show you putting the cork on this base I just made. And then on part 4, I want to show you putting the track on the cork.